Happy Victory Monday, everybody. The New Orleans Saints have now won 2 games in a row, and who knew that firing one of the worst head coaches in NFL history would result in them winning football games? But yesterday, the Saints blow out the Cleveland Browns, and this was one of them Taysom Hill games. This was basically Taysom Hill versus the Cleveland Browns, okay? The guy had 7 carries, 138 yards. 3 touchdowns on the ground. He also caught 8 passes for 50 yards. He threw a pass, he threw a pick, he fumbled, he also ran back a kickoff, right? The guy basically did everything that you can do in a single football game. So today's video is going to be Taysom's top plays. All right, so here's the first play I want to look at. Okay, really nice job on the play action here and the pass from Taysom Hill. And it's just a nifty design. But what gets this play to work is the Cleveland Browns just completely bite on the play action. So they're going to be in this 3 deep cover 3 look. We're going to have this guy deep. He's going to have a deep. This guy's going to buzz down to either the hook or the flat, probably the hook if I were to guess. And then we're going to get, again, just play action wide zone to the left. We're going to fake it. We're going to have the split flow block across the formation from Moreau, who ends up protecting Taysom Hill. Then we're going to have Taysom Hill run behind and catch the little flip from Derek Carr. But again, what makes this play work, right, is all of these second level defenders here just completely bite on this play action. And it leaves a huge wide open void in the middle of the field for Kevin Austin Jr., who comes across on the crosser, and then Scantling at the top running the clear out here. But again, just a nifty play design, and it works so well because of how badly the Browns bite on this play action. I mean, look at all these guys. They are all caught up in the wash over here. And this was, I mean, he could have thrown, Taysom could have thrown this now. I mean, that's how wide open this thing was. But he waits until he's absolutely sure, makes a nice, accurate throw on the run. Boom. Good catch, good throw, good stuff. And I mentioned that he also had 50 yards receiving. So let's look at one of his catches, right? Now, most of his production in this game obviously came on the ground, which is expected, right? But he had a respectable 50 yards, right? Like on this play here, where, the Saints are going to go empty. Taysom Hill is just going to run a quick slant over the middle, but he's going to be, one on one against Grant Delpit, who is in man coverage, right? And Delpit's a pretty good player in the National Football League, and Taysom Hill beats him on this route. All right, you see, so we take the snap, boom, little shake and bake action. Taysom Hill on the slant. Derek Carr puts the ball on him, and that's a first down. I mean, hey, that's a respectable play against a good player and Grant Delpit, if you ask me. So, like I said, most of his production came through the ground, so that's what we're going to get into next here in these next coming up clips. All right, let's get into the good stuff now. This is on one of his touchdown runs, okay? The very first one he had from 10 yards out. And it's just going to be a simple zone read. And he's going to keep the ball, he's going to pull the ball, and he's going to run around the edge for a touchdown here. And what teams like to do against Taysom Hill, they all pretty much do the same thing or try to do the same thing. And you would think by now that teams would at least try something different, right? And I seen a comment the other day. I think it was on an Instagram post on one of the Saints. They posted one of Taysom's touchdowns, and one of the comments was like, don't teams know what they're going to do when he's in the game? And it's like, well, yeah, of course they know what they're going to do, but that don't mean they can stop it. You know what I mean? So the Browns, they're just going to go one high look so they can get an extra guy in the box or a guy in the box, right? They're going to go man coverage. So it's going to be man, man, man. It'd be something like, man here on the tight end. And then you'd have, a guy on the running back and a guy accounting for Taysom. But the problem is, when you bring so let's do a run count first. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, pretty much 6, 7 potential blockers versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 7 on 7. That's good for the Saints, right? Because again, that's not accounting for Taysom, who becomes the 8th player in the box. So right away, the Saints have the advantage, and really the only way the Browns can counter this is by also bringing this safety into the box. But when you do that, essentially makes it cover zero, and there's nobody out here protecting the middle of the field, and Taysom, is a threat to throw the ball as well. So if you got like a post or, something like that out there, that leaves them vulnerable. So a lot of teams don't like to do that, but some teams do, right? And that usually doesn't work either, to be honest. But nonetheless, the Saints, this is just a quick zone read here, and it's a good job, right? We're going to read this in man here on the line of scrimmage. If he crashes down, Taysom is going to pull the ball, which is exactly what happens. If he were to stay here, stay at home, and kind of watch the play, watch what's going on, he would just simply hand the ball off to Kamara, right? And that's really it. And you see here that defensive end, He crashes down the line of scrimmage, and this linebacker or safety up here bites on the play action, so that sets up a better blocking angle for Foster Moreau right here. He seals the edge, and then Taysom Hill takes off for the touchdown. And this, I mean, that's some really poor run defense, to be quite honest with you. Really poor defense in general from the Browns in this game. Really undisciplined stuff. I mean, you know Taysom Hill's in the game. There's no reason for this linebacker or this defensive end to be crashing down this hard. And again, for Delpit here, I believe that is. If not, I apologize, but I'm pretty sure that's Delpit. There's no reason for him to bite this hard on this AK run, right? Even after Taysom already pulls the ball, he still commits to it, which is kind of funny. But again, all that does is set up a way better blocking angle for Moreau here to seal this edge. And then you got 81 Kevin Austin Jr. up here at the top, just acting like he's going out for a pass. That takes 21. Denzel Ward out of the way. And then again, Taysom Hill just does what he does. Number one gives his best effort, but it's just not enough. Touchdown Taysom. All right, next play here, and look, he can do it from the backfield too, right? He don't have to line up at quarterback. He can run the ball and have a lot of success lined up in a tailback position or fullback position. In this case, he's in the tailback position, right? And the Saints essentially they're just gonna block down. We're gonna have Penning clear this guy out. We're gonna get outside zone blocking over here. Fuaga's going to do a nice job reaching his man, and we're going to have Eric McCoy. Almost says Cesar Ruiz. Eric McCoy, welcome back, Eric McCoy. Got re-injured during the game. That sucks to see, but we're going to have Eric McCoy pulling through here and taking out this linebacker. And again, Taysom Hill does a really nice job of reading things, right? So let's press play. Nice job, Eric McCoy hitting the linebacker. Fuaga kind of getting in the way. Nice job. And Taysom Hill, I mean, that's vision. That's a tight end quarterback, folks, running that football. There's never been a player like Taysom Hill in the NFL. I mean, there just hasn't been, right? And there probably never will be. I mean, this guy just still does not get the respect that he deserves. And I know he gets a lot of hate, especially from, non-Saints fans, because they see the contract and they just you have to watch the Saints games to fully understand the impact that Taysom Hill has on the New Orleans Saints and has had for years. And I mean, I think one thing that's often overlooked too is this guy, he's 34 years old. 34. I mean, I know he kind of started late, but his career late, but he's also had a lot of injuries as well, especially in college. But this guy is 34 years of age doing things like this. I mean, running backs at 34 don't exist, right? And he's doing things that a running back would do that, that at age 34 it blows my mind to even think about. But again, another successful handoff to Taysom Hill. Good blocking up front too as well though. Next one here, next touchdown run. This one is 33 yards direct snap, and this one came on 4th and 1, and this is just beautifully set up by the Saints. I mean, so we're going to start in the pistol formation, and look at you have everybody. You have everybody for the Saints, all 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then on the Browns, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You have everybody in one single frame here, right? And what the Saints do, okay, is they're going to motion Derek Carr out of the formation, right, out to the side, right? And what that does is that makes number 9 have to respect that, right? Like, he is Derek Carr, he is the quarterback. Is he going to get the ball? Absolutely not. But they have to respect it. They can't just leave him out there by himself. So number 9 floats out there, and he tells 43. He said, "Hey, you got to come take over this edge, buddy. Right? You got to come seal off this edge, because Taysom Hill, what did he do earlier? He beat us around the edge. But what that does is, since that bumps these two guys over, that leaves this gap that Taysom Hill ends up running through wide open, right? So remember, let's take it back a little bit now. Okay, well, let's watch it play out first. I mean, just bouncing off defenders, touchdown, right? So let's take it back though. Again, remember, before the motion, what did we have? Before the motion, we have a guy for the outside here, guy for this gap, this gap, this gap's taken care of, this gap, this gap, this gap, this gap, and the edge, right? And then we have the linebackers able to fill as well where needed, right? And so what the motion does again is it bumps this guy over. So now the edge isn't sealed, right? So this guy has to come over, right? And when this guy comes over to seal off the edge, that leaves his gap wide open, right? Nobody is accounting for this run gap. Taysom Hill knows it. Taysom Hill sees it, and he's going to press that gap, right? We are better than you, and we know it. That is basically what the Saints are telling the Browns here on this play. And you can see it even better from this view, how this gap opens up because of the motion. We get Jawan with the seal off, Prentice out here, and Taysom does the rest. Really good stuff from the Saints and from Taysom Hill on this touchdown on a 4th and 1. All right, next one and final one we'll look at. This is the one that the game was already over, but it just put the salt on the wound for the New Orleans Saints. 75-yard touchdown to end the game from Taysom Hill. And this is just going back to the bread and butter, quarterback power, right? So we're going to get everybody blocking down. We're going to blocking down. We're just going to get all kinds of people blocking down, right? And then we're going to have the fullback. His job is going to be to kick out the end. But you'll see there's going to be no end for him to kick out, right? Like because of the way the Browns are aligning to this, you're going to have Myles Garrett going inside, which I would assume would mean 43 was supposed to come down here and fill, but he just absolutely does a horrific job. So you're going to have Prentice coming around, sealing that off, and then Cesar Ruiz pulling as well, looking for work here. So let's press play, see what happens. So again, you got Moreau taking care of Garrett, 74 Udo coming in, the extra offensive lineman, blocking down. We got Cesar Ruiz pulling across, and you can see Prentice, he actually gets the edge, and there's nobody for him to block. So he's like, okay, well, let me work to the second level, right? So he gets there. Ruiz keeps his eyes on his linebacker, doesn't do a great job, but gets just enough of him, keeping him off of Taysom Hill. And Taysom Hill, again, does the rest of the work. And this is, really bad job. But again, like taking this back, shout out to Foster Moreau here, tasked with, doing the best he can with Myles Garrett here, who absolutely throws him like a rag dog. Look at boop. That's funny to watch, right? But, in hindsight, it's funny, but they scored the touchdown. That's all that matters. So Taysom Hill, just an absolute monstrous game. And Taysom Hill, I said it over on my own channel. He's in my top 5 favorite Saints of all time. Don't care what nobody says. Love the guy. Love to watch him football. And it's going to be a sad day when he either retires or he's no longer a New Orleans Saint. That's going to do it for the video. I appreciate you guys watching. Peace.